Make sure I'm not tripping. Thursday. See, my days are running. Hey, lovies. I hope that y'all are well. Come on in, come on in, come on in. We're going to have a good conversation tonight. So I want you to share this, okay? Because I don't know if I'm putting this. Oh, it's 1:06 a.m. in South Africa. Thank you for joining us from South Africa. I really appreciate that. Come on in, come on in. If you guys can hear me clearly, put a 1 in the comments for me, please. Excuse me. Put a 1 in the comments for me and let me know where you're watching from. Because y'all know I love to know. Okay? So today we're going to have a really, really good conversation. As you see, hey, Mississippi. As you see, the title says the soul is sending. Well, the title says bad character equals spiritual debt. But what we're actually speaking about is that how the soul is now about to start sending invoices. Bad character always comes with a bill. And so we're going to talk about the energetics behind some things because we're in the age of air. Hey, New York City. We're in the age of air. And I just wrote about this on Substack, so if you're not familiar with the age of air and what that actually means, you can click the link in the bio to get more information about it, where I kind of break down everything and how it impacts the feminine. So if you're a reader and you're on Substack, go ahead over there and catch that information. Y'all, let me turn this fan because it's going to make me, it needs to rotate because it was in my face and I could feel me about to get congested. And I don't need that. I already got to keep my leg props because I sprained my ankle. But that's what we're going to be getting into today, about basically how the soul is sending out invoices and how bad character always comes with a bill. And because we're living in the age, or we've entered into the age of air, everything is out in the open. The era that we left from recently is the age of water. Water is one of those things that you can, it can manipulate its form. So water also represents the emotions, right? So it was a lot of manipulation of the emotions. It was a lot of manipulation of the tide. So we're in a space now where everything is coming out in the open. You're hearing people refer to it as a multitude of things. I refer to it as the age of air. And you can read all about it, like I said, by clicking the link in the bio and signing up for my Substack. Okay, because I break everything down about air and the feminine and what's going to happen with women in a space who misused their energy. Like a whole bunch of stuff is coming, so click the link in the bio to read more about that. Okay, but today specifically we're going to be talking about how bad character always comes with a bill. If you don't know who I am, hi Lovey. If you don't know who I am, my name is Elle Antoinette. I'm an energetics and identity mentor, and what I do specifically is that I mentor visionary women to dissolve invisible ceilings and embody emotional and energetic authority so that their leadership, their relationships, and their wealth actually reflect their design. The reason why a lot of women are burnt out, which is a sign, which is really a warning, okay? Burnout is the warning you get before breakdown. Breakdown happens when you've buried yourself. Okay, when you find yourself underneath the rubble, that's where the breakdown comes in. Burnout is your warning that you're about to go into that space. What I really need you to understand is that your body is a vehicle. Car vehicles, okay, are made and designed after the body. They have to have all these thousands of working parts, okay? You have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of things happening on the inside of your internal universe that keep your heart pumping the blood it needs to pump, keeping your liver supplying blood to your nerves, to your eyes, okay? Like all of these things are extremely important. There's so many things that are happening inside of your universe, okay? They're insides. So your body is a vessel and it is a vehicle. Because it's a vessel and it's a vehicle, it gives you warnings for a very long time that something is wrong, okay? People just don't get old and get Alzheimer's. That's not what happens. Those things start happening decades. The signs of that starts decades beforehand, okay? People just don't get these illnesses when they get older. You have been being warned all this time, but society has normalized so many things that it makes it seem like everything is just okay. A perfect example is this, and I was having this conversation with someone a little bit earlier. Women on their cycles, it's been normalized and told to us, right before your cycle comes, your boobs are going to get tender and right? So it's like, oh, that's normal. Do you know that that's not normal? That's actually not normal. What that actually says is that you have low progesterone. That is what that's symbolizing. That's what it's saying. And when I realized that, and I began to sync my cycle and eat the different things that go with my cycle, that completely went away. So things that are being normalized usually are warning signs. And when you don't know these things, you would just think these things are normal, and you'll ignore these warnings. And the reality is that these things are warning. Like I said, before the breakdown, burnout comes. Burnout is a high-level warning. It's the warning that's basically letting you know, I'm sorry, but your engine is about to blow up. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. Your engine is about to explode in a minute if you don't. It's the warning that you get. It was a young lady on TikTok that posted a thing, and her thing said, motor is about to blow up. And she was like, y'all, what this mean? They was like, ma'am. That's literally what happens with the body, okay? So you have to understand it about yourself. Thank you, Lovey, for these gifts, these likes. You have to understand it about yourself, okay? So I specifically have helped coaches. I've helped feminine leaders. I have helped founders dissolve invisible ceilings by restoring their nervous systems, clarifying their identities, and reclaiming emotional and spiritual rhythm, okay? Thank you, my love. So one of the things that I speak on is character, because character is very important. And I'm going to be really honest with you. Authenticity is what gets you through the door in this society. Being a different element or being a breath of fresh air is what makes people attracted to you or magnetized by you. But it is your character that's going to keep you in the door. Okay? And pressure, which is something that none of us can avoid in this life. Pressure is available and consistent to us in every single area of our life. It doesn't matter what reality that we're choosing for ourselves, there's still some form of pressure there. And pressure builds and reveals character. And see, bad character causes spiritual debt, and the bill always comes due. And what you need to understand in the age of air, which is what we've entered into, is that when things are out in the air, that means these things are out in the open. Y'all think y'all seeing stuff with these celebrities and what they got going on and how things are being exposed. Wait till the people around you, or wait till you get exposed. None of us are exempt in the age that we are in right now. None of us are exempt from being exposed. So if your character is not right, and rest him, the great late Dr. Miles Monroe stated, as you ascend, sweetheart, you need to fix your underclothes, because the higher you ascend, the more we're going to be able to see under that skirt if you don't fix your clothes. And so this live is going to be a reminder to you. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. It's going to be a reminder to you that you better fix your clothes, because we are no longer in the age of water, where you could manipulate things, manipulate emotions, because water represents emotions. So you're not in a state where you can just manipulate emotions anymore. People are not necessarily falling for that. People want real results, and people are in the age of exposing you. If you're not who you say you are, you're going to be exposed. So it's not just going to be the celebrities. It's everyone is up. Everyone is up. And when I say you're going to be exposed, I'm not just speaking of, okay, if you're like, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm not doing anything to anyone, so there's no reason for me to be exposed. You're going to be exposed if you out here acting like you're a perfectionist. You're going to be exposed if you out here people pleasing. You're going to be exposed if you out here seeking external validation. You're going to be exposed if you out here code switching and performing. You're going to be exposed. Because all of that is performing, and performance is out. Which is why they're bringing AI in, because they don't like the way humans are performing. Hello? Performance is out, baby, because you can't even outperform what's coming for you. Thank you, my love, for these gifts, these likes, and these. You're not able to do that, and you sure can't do it if you have spiritual debt. So let's go ahead and get into it. Some of you are, and I talk about women when I say leadership. This can be your leadership as a mother. This could be your leadership as a CEO. This could be your leadership as the oldest daughter. This could be your leadership as the leader in your family. But some of you are really wondering why leadership feels so heavy, or if you're in business, why your launches keep falling flat, or why your love life is just inconsistent, or why you look successful on paper or to other people, but you feel empty. I'll tell you why right now. Because a lot of you are carrying spiritual debt. And the bill is always going to come due. I don't care what happens in your life, the bill is always going to come due. Okay? A lot of you have been overdrafting on charisma and calling and confidence. You're going to get exposed. A lot of you have been manipulating access that you really haven't earned, and you're going to be exposed. A lot of you are trying to lead from talent when your character is leaking, and you're going to be exposed. Okay? I'm not saying this from a space of pedestal. I'm not saying this from any space. I'm telling you what I live. And the thing is this, it's something as simple as you stating, oh, I've been going to the gym and I've been working on myself and I've been doing this, and you look exactly the same year after year after year after year after year. But your story is consistent that you're working out, you're eating right, but we see no shift, we see no difference in how you actually look. So guess what happens? You're being exposed because either you're not doing what you're saying that you're doing, or there's some type of disconnect in the process of what you're doing. But either way it goes, you're going to be exposed. And a lot of people who started businesses and who are out here like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. If you ain't really started a business to truly make and create impact and change people's lives, you're going to be exposed. If you created a business solely to make money in this new era, in the age of air, you're going to be exposed. You're going to be exposed. I've watched literally, and we've seen it, how misalignment, it doesn't collapse overnight. It's slow. It's a slow process. I used to, when I was 17 years old, when I was 17 years old, I used to work for the Red Dot Company that a lot of people are boycotting, right? So, the Bullseye Company is what I'll call them. I used to work for the Bullseye Company. And when I worked for the Bullseye Company at 17, I remember specifically hearing about a rule about people who stole from the Bullseye Company, right? They're not going to arrest you when you steal the $20 outfit. They're not going to arrest you when you steal the $100 outfit. They're not going to arrest you when you steal the $300 outfit. But the minute that you go over $500 and you have stolen $500 worth of stuff, that is when they're going to meet you at the door with the law. See, it's a slow build-up. And it's the same thing when it comes down to misalignment. See, when you start telling the little lies, then you got to cover it up with the big lies. And then you automatically cheat people out of an experience because you cheat them out of choice, because you've taken their choice away because you lied. So not only have you lied, you cheated, right? So they say you lie, you cheat, or you lie, you steal, you cheat, all that. All those things really do go in order. You cheat the person out of their choice. You steal an opportunity for an individual to be able to do what is best for them. Okay? And you put them in a position where something can happen. So these things are very much so connected, and we don't think about it. We don't consider it. So this whole thing, when you're doing little stuff that you think you just getting away with, all of that stuff is adding up. Let me tell you something. People like to talk about the universe, but let me put you on game about the universe first, because a lot of people don't know. The universe is an algorithm. It is actually the largest algorithm that has been created. It is the algorithm that social media mimics, the stock market. Any algorithm created on this human earth is a replica and is an imitation of the universe. Why is that? Because the Most High created the universe, so whatever you put into it is what you are going to get from it. Threefold, 100-fold, all of those things. Hence the law of sowing and reaping. You're going to reap exactly what it is that you're sowing. Whatever you sow in thought, whatever you sow in action, whatever you sow in intention, whatever you sow in energy, those things are going to be multiplied and those things are going to come back to you. So when we're speaking about this universe, when you slowly are dripping lies and deceit and cheating people out of experiences and stealing and doing all these other things, those things are going to come back to you. They have no choice but to boomerang back to you. Thank you, my love. They have no choice but to boomerang back to you. And when they boomerang back to you, they're going to boomerang back to you in a way that's going to be extremely impactful, that's going to hit you in your chest. It's going to hit you in your chest. This is not whatever. When it comes back, it's going to hit you in your chest. And I think that we don't realize that spiritual debt really does add up. And one day, after all the time you've sown all of this, you're just going to wake up and realize everything you built in the mode of survival is literally start turning against you. Everything you attracted through desperation, everything you did through desperation, it starts to turn on you. But in order for you to not have this happen and for you to build on a solid foundation, you have to understand that your authenticity will get you into every room. It will get you into every room that you are assigned to be in. But your character is what is going to keep you in the room. And so let's get into what character is, what bad character is. Okay, so this is what I'm going to go over. What character is, what bad character is. We're going to talk about the shadow and really expose it. And then we're going to get into what the age of air is actually going to expose when it comes down to women, when it comes down to society, the cost of you staying the same as well. And if you want to change that, I have some options to be able to support you in changing that. But I'm telling you, we are in a time now, and y'all know when I'm telling you, we're in a time now. You can't manipulate air. Air exposes everything. Everything is going to be seen. I'm going to say this one little piece right here, and I'm not going to go heavy on this because I don't want to get banned, and I'm going to leave that for my writings and for my communities. But I'm going to tell you, I want you to pay attention to the pattern of something that's going on. You notice the Most High is everywhere and can be in every place at the same time. The enemy, the ops, whole agenda is to mimic the Most High. Okay? It's to mimic these things. All the algorithms that mimic the universe, all of those things, as well as being able to be everywhere at the same time and see everything and track everything. They have been tracking what you buy grocery-wise and have been tracking what you buy in general for years and calling it giving you deals. They are going to start up-leveling surveillance so they will be able to recognize your face while you walk down the street. You need to pay attention and understand what exactly is happening and what is going on around you. You are in the age of air. Air, AI, air, internet. Who is the prince of air? See, if you read scripture, who is the prince of air? You are in the age of air. Everything is going to be exposed. Thank you, Lovey. Everything is going to be exposed. Make sure you on your square when the wind blows. Make sure you are exactly where you need to be when the wind blows. I'm trying to tell you something without telling you something. You are in the age of air. You're not going to be able to play the games that you played in the age of water. Water is easily, you can form it. You can manipulate it. You can't seduce air. Air is either going to lift you up or expose what is there. And that is where we are. Okay? So I want us to really pay attention to that. So let's get into what character is, because character is what's going to keep you. And character is actually the new currency. Because like I've been telling y'all, celebrity culture is, and really influencer culture is, the culture that's going to rise is going to be The individuals who truly have knowledge, who truly have wisdom, because people are now seeking connection. People are seeking real results. People are seeking to have their lives transformed. Those are going to be the ones who are going to be influencing, because they are going to be creating true impact. But if you are not on your square and you are in business just to get a check, you will be exposed. Because I'm telling you, the season that we've entered in is the season of results. Results is my favorite thing. My sister was just over here, and I just had a conversation with her, and we were talking about working out. She was like, I really love working out. Da, da, da. I was like, I had to make myself like working out because I love results. I love the results that come from working out. I ain't finna tell you I just love working out. I like working out. I enjoy the versatility and the different things that I do. But baby, I like results. My whole life is results. My clients get results. My clients get one of 3 results, or they get all 3 results. Women that come to work with me make more money, period. They make more money. And they don't even have to get a second job, work hard to get it. They make more money. And I ain't talking about no little money either. They make more money. The second thing is women that come to work with me, they get healthier. They lose weight. My highest client to the date has lost 70 pounds. Might be a little bit over to that now. Third result that clients tend to get when they come to work with me is that they end up mastering their emotions. And so they start attracting better community, better partners, better friends, whether that is platonic or romantic. Their discernment goes up. Boundaries are fortified. They really live a life that's soft. Because let me explain something to you about a soft life. A soft life requires structure. And structure looks like a boundary. Don't ask no man for no soft life. A soft life is something you are supposed to give yourself. And the first order of business when it comes down to a soft life is making sure that you understand your internal structure. That means your spiritual structure, your mental structure, your emotional structure, your physical structure, your financial structure, before you even entertain social structures. Y'all, it's a fly in him. I'm so mad because I've been trying to kill it. So if y'all see it fly by, I left my window open while I was cooking something. Ooh, I'm so mad because I was looking for it, trying to kill it. Anywho, but if your structure is not set up, okay, you can't be soft. You can't flourish. It's the equivalent to you saying, if the bills aren't taken care of and this can't, if this isn't happening and this isn't together and the money is not right, I can't go have fun. It's the exact same thing. Business ain't taken care of, so there's no flourishing, there's no fun. Take care of your own business. Take care of your own business. Okay, lay your own structure and foundation. Therefore, you can say, okay, this is what needs to be added to my structure and my foundation. These type of people, these type of experiences, and you can really start creating the reality that you desire and that you want, instead of settling for the one that you have. And we tend to do that. Okay, authenticity gets you into the door. Character is what's gonna keep you in the door, and pressure is real in every reality. So pressure is going to reveal character or build character based on what's already going on with you. So to talk about what character actually is. Character, by definition, according to Merriam-Webster, is the complex of mental and ethical traits marking and often individualizing a person, a group, or a nation. I'll say in simpler terms, character is the invisible code that you live by. Hear what I'm telling you. Character is the invisible code that you live by. If you don't live by a code, character is the invisible code that you live by. If you don't have a code, what are you living by? What are you living by? Hey, lovey. What are you living by? If you don't have a code, what are you living by? Because character is the invisible code that you live by. It's literally what governs how you behave when nobody's watching you. It's not your reputation. That's what other people think about you. It's your reality. See, a lot of you work hard to protect your reputation, but your reputation doesn't match your reality. And I'm telling you, in the age of air, you're going to be exposed, because air opens up everything. And if you want to know more about that, click the link in the bio at my Substack and subscribe and read my latest letter. I'm telling you the era that we're in. I'm telling you, if you don't get yourself together, that wind is going to expose you because it's here. Hey, loving. Okay? So if you, like I said, if you want to know more about the age of air, what that means for the feminine, what that means for you, what you need to pay attention to, go ahead and go read. Okay? Click the link in the bio and get more information about it. So, again, it's not your reputation. Character is not your reputation. It is, because your reputation is what other people think about you. Character is your reality. It's the actual pattern of your thoughts, your motives, and your behavior. Okay? Now, let's talk about bad character in this space from spiritual law. Everything I give you is going to come from scripture, science, and psychology. Everything is rooted in scripture, backed up by science, and backed up by psychology. I want you to go and look these things up for yourself, especially if you say that you are a believer. A lot of believers are not real believers. You are very faithless because you don't really understand the book. And you don't understand that the book is actually a book of codes, which is why it's difficult for you to read initially. Anytime you are working with any form of code or any form of foreign language, it is going to take you a minute to grasp understanding, to be able to dissect what is going on. What the code requires of you is time, energy, and attention. And if you spend the time, energy, and attention in the code will reveal itself to you. And I'm telling you what I know. And you will know how to use the code to elevate your life so you can make more money. So you can have more options. So you can choose people who actually align with your quality of life experience. When you don't understand your value, you live beneath it. When you don't understand who you are, you live beneath your value. Okay? So let's get into the space of bad character. So, and this is something, I chose this specific verse for a reason. But bad character, when it comes down to spiritual law, is Proverbs 11:3. And it talks about the integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. I'm going to say that one more time. The integrity of the upright guides them, okay? But the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. What does that mean, duplicity? By their two faces. Do you understand to be two-faced is against spiritual law? See, now we're going to talk about it. To be two-faced is a violation of spiritual law. Little miss, I go to church every single, Sunday. I do this, I do that. But how are your faces? How is your face? A person with bad character cannot be trusted to stay true to their word, their values, or their commitments. They shapeshift, i.e. the age of water. See, I'm telling you. See, the age of water, you could shapeshift, you could manipulate, you could maneuver. Now you're standing in the wind. The wind exposes, it blows things up. People with bad character shapeshift to gain favor, but they lack moral structure. And these are the things that we really have to pay attention to, because we really, really miss it. And bad character always comes with a bill, and the bill always comes due. So let's get into the shadow aspects of this. Some women are out here in business specifically. They're launching programs. They're even leading teams. They're trying to be the brand, but you lie easily. You gossip without blinking. You weaponize softness. You overpromise and you underdeliver. You perform warmth while secretly seething. You know the ones, y'all try to act like you're the bigger person, but that's really not your form. That's not your true form. You use intimacy as a tool of control. You pray in public, but you punish people in private. See, all of these things in the age of air are going to be exposed. And it's not even a joke. You say it's strategy, but it's self-protection masked as power. Now your nervous system is fried. You're always on edge. You're always anxious. You're always in defense mode. You can't hold intimacy. You attract chaos. You distrust everyone. It's everybody. You don't trust nobody. It's not that you don't trust anybody. You don't trust yourself. But that's a whole nother conversation. The truth is you don't not trust everyone. You don't even trust you. So you don't trust you to choose proper people to be in your experience. That's not femininity. That's not spiritual authority. That's soul starvation. That's what that is. And the truth is the bill is always going to come due for all of those things. You can't manipulate divine law. I always tell people you are never above the program. And unless you wrote the program for the entire world, then you don't know the program. So you definitely are not above the program. And the program is spiritual law. If the sun and the moon have a job, have an assignment, the sun and the moon have positions. Do y'all realize that? They do. It's in scripture. It's in the book of Jubilee. It's in the book of Jubilee. It literally breaks it down, all of those things. In the book of Jubilee, it talks about the sun having a position and the moon having a position. Those are luminaries that literally have assignments. They have to show up. They are over time. They are over seasons. They are over a multitude of things. They are the dividers. They are literally the first boundary. They are the dividers of light and darkness. All of these things literally are in scripture. So if they have to be on assignment, and they've been showing up ever since you've been on this earth, it's always been the sun rising and setting. It's always been the moon popping out and popping back in. Okay, since that's been going on since you've been here, if they can't manipulate divine law, you can't either. If they're not above the program, neither are you. Neither are you. You can't fake fruit. People are going to know you by your fruit. And like I said, we are in a space right now where things are being exposed. Things are going to be out in the open. It's not just celebrities. It's not. And I need women to really understand that. I need you to really stop this whole character you've been acting and playing. That's not going to work. The things that you have been doing in secret, you will eventually pay for every connection you corrupted. Every lie you justified. Every energetic withdrawal you never repaid back. And that's just honest. The age of air is going to expose you. Charm won't cover fracture. Speed exposes instability. The fruit reveals the truth, not words. Unhealed patterns are going to leak into your work, into your love life, into your leadership, and you're going to look unstable and people are not going to invest. Energy doesn't lie. Integrity is your magnetism. That's your magnetism. People want to be around solid people, especially when you live in a world that's not solid. People are attracted and drawn to people who are solid, who they know are reliable, who they know are honest, who they know are not trying to get over them. That is very attractive, especially in a world that lies to you. Integrity is going to be high key when it comes down to magnetism, especially when it comes down to women and men. Because the circumstances of the way society is going, it's going to bring out more of the savage in people again. Because like I said, pressure builds or reveals character. And you're going to see how people really operate when they don't have money. See, you're going to really see how people operate when things start shifting and changing in the world and they're not rooted in their spiritual identity, so they don't know how to function. You're going to really see the savage in people. You're going to see the truth in them. So that's why I'm telling you, these things are not small. You have to come to terms and deal with yourself. Your shadows are going to surface publicly. Much like how these celebrities, your shadow is going to come to light, baby. No more hiding behind deep talking online with shallow roots. Character is the new currency. Because character is sustainable. Because character outweighs whatever lie is told on you. I respect the fact when I see certain celebrities don't respond to things. When people are really trying to dig and do certain things and they just won't give them nothing. Now, I don't know this young lady, but I will say I have a lot of respect for how she handles things. And that would be Drika Gates. I have a lot of respect for how she handles things. A lot of respect. She gives us nothing. She gives nothing. Do you hear me? She gives nothing but the goodness and the joy that's happening in her reality that she's creating for herself. She gives nothing. She don't give, baby. And the person she was married to is out here giving everything to be seen, and she gives nothing because she understands energetics. Because even when you are going off on a person, you still giving them energy. And why would I give you something from my power source when I can use that energy as my own? Because it belongs to me as a power source in doing something else that shifts lives, that does something else for other people, that elevates my own life. I have a lot of respect for the way she handles things. I have a lot of respect for the way she has handled this whole thing and ordeal. Giving nothing. Why? Because she owes nobody nothing. She don't owe nobody no explanation for nothing. Not even him. Not even him. And I love that for her. Character is the new currency. See, y'all gotta be real careful. You understand what I'm saying? People will judge you based on how you move because that's your fruit. See, let's just say you're in a marriage and you got one person out here acting crazy and acting ridiculous, excuse me. And they're doing things what most people would deem to be embarrassing to the other partner, right? And that person never shifts, never allows their character to be messed up. They allow the other person to do whatever it is they're going to do, but they don't change their form ever. That person becomes so high value, so attractive, so mysterious. It's such a muse that people want to investigate and invest in whatever she got going on. Because how are you keeping your peace in the midst of all of this? I just want to know, I want to get close and see how you're able to do that. See, that's how people think. So now let's flip this scenario. That's your fruit. So let's flip the scenario. There was another celebrity, and I won't mention her name. She was going through some things publicly in her marriage, right? I don't even think the ink is dry on the divorce with this particular husband who was out here doing the most, much like old girl husband, doing a lot, in my personal opinion. And the first thing that she is encouraged to do is to go outside. Is to go outside while the ink is not even dry. You going outside, you making your moves, you grown. Everybody grown. You doing what you want to do. You popping out with a person and you still got legal ties to another one. But you doing what you want to do. I listen to how each of these women are viewed. And they're viewed very differently. We have one over here who has never given anything. Never shown really anything. Never given any energy despite what her spouse has been out here doing. And then we have another one who attempts to go out and match the energy of what her spouse is doing. And though the world will clap and tell you, yes, girl, go ahead and, we up and do this and do that. But at the end of the day, I need us to remember that the womb is a portal. You understand what I'm telling you? Thank you, my love, for these gifts, these likes, and these comments. The womb is a portal. So you mean to tell me you're going to, just because this person decided to dishonor and disrespect the vows you made, you're going to shift who you are to prove a point that I could get you back? See, and this is why games never really work well for me when it comes down to men. Because I'm going to tell you something. The minute I realize, because see, I already have to play the game of life. And that's chess. So I'm not going to enter into any form of a relationship, especially romance, and playing a game. The minute I realize you playing a game, you know what I do? Game over. I don't play. I don't do tit for tat. And people want you to do tit for tat so bad, they want to do something to you and be like, oh, please just do it back to me. Thank you for these gifts, love. Absolutely not. I'm out your way. See, once I see your fruit is rotten, Once I see your character is flawed, once I see your character is bad, you got spiritual debt behind you. And let me tell you something. If I'm attached to you, I'm going to catch some of that heat wave and I don't want none. You only got to do it to me one time. You only got to show me one time that your fruit is rotten. Thank you, my love, for these likes, these gifts, and these comments. Once. I'm not mad at you for being who you are. But I don't participate in experiences. I don't catch nobody else's spiritual debt. I'm not catching nobody else's spiritual debt. And if you don't believe me, look at all them people who are around these celebrities who are going down. Now they got all these other people behind the scenes. They getting sued and XYZ executives. Because let me tell you something. You catch the spiritual debt. Because how can two walk together and not be in agreement? You have to come into agreement with what that person is doing in order for you to take on their debt. And I don't agree with your character, so I'm not fooling with you. And the minute you do something and show me you have rotten character, there's nothing you can say to me. We ain't going back. I don't play games. Tricks are for kids. Tricks are for kids. And I ain't collecting no debt. I already got my own. See, I already have my own from when I didn't know. You understand? Because you are still responsible for what you don't know because you choose not to investigate. I'm not collecting nobody else's spiritual debt. If your character ain't right, I'm not fooling with you. If you got two faces, and I just read it to you. People who are, it said Proverbs 11, and let me go and hit it up again. 11:3. The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity, by your two faces. I don't hang with chicks that got two faces. Because you got spiritual debt. And if you are the two-faced one, you got spiritual debt. You need to watch your mouth. There's power of life and death in the tongue. You ain't read that part? You ain't catch that? You don't think that energy is going to be multiplied and given to you? In some form? You out here talking about this woman, the way she is and how she operates, and then you're trying to turn around in the same face, trying to figure out why this man is not attracted to you, why he don't like you, what is this and this and this and that. Can we not? Thank you, my love, for these gifts, these likes. Can we not? I'm not around. I can't do the two faces. I can't do the two faces. Your duplicity is destroying you. That's what the scriptures say. Your duplicity is destroying you. Having two faces is a violation of spiritual law. It's a violation. In the age of air, integrity becomes magnetism. People want to be around the people who are solid because society ain't solid. The majority of society is not solid. So people are going to be magnetized by the people who keep their integrity in a world that is horrific and horrible. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. They're going to do that. So if you lack integrity, no, they're not going to be attracted to you. Everybody getting tired. Everybody thieves. Don't nobody want to still be around another thief. Somebody want to get out of the space. It's not making sense. In the age of air, character becomes currency. They will know you by your fruit. At the end of the day, you're going to always meet yourself. And let me tell you something. I always say that, but I'm going to tell it to you in a different way you probably ain't heard before. You're going to always meet yourself. Let me go back to character becomes currency. In Genesis, it literally tells you that you are created in the likeness of the Most High with the character of the Most High. You will always meet yourself. You will always meet yourself. Character is going to be your currency. That's what's going to tell on you in this new season. Your fruit. They will know you by your fruit. Baby, that's just not a saying. It's not a gimmick. This is where we are. It's out in the open. We're in the age of air. Welcome. Welcome. And in the air, everything is open. And in the air, everything is exposed. You can't hide from the wind. Wind so strong, it'll rip the roof off of your house. You can't hide from the air. You can't hide from breath. You are in the age of air. And you can't hide in this society because in the age of air, surveillance goes up. But ting, hold tight and wait. Really gonna rock your socks off at the end of 2026 when you realize how much surveillance. See, the enemy wants to be the most high so bad. He wants to be everywhere at every time, seeing everything. You don't see that? Little Miss Smart Cities coming to a city near you if you don't know nothing about it. Listen, these things are in your face. They're in your face. You're not paying attention. Nobody can play you without your permission, your participation, or the fact that you simply are not paying attention. Not a man, not society, not a friend, nobody. Nobody. And like I said, in the age of air, integrity becomes magnetism, character becomes currency, and shadow becomes spotlight. Ding, 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 ding. Shadow becomes spotlight in the age of air. What you do in the dark most definitely is going to be coming to the light, baby. And it's not just the celebrities that Cat Williams was talking about. It's everybody. You better do a check-in. You better have a reckoning. You better get real. Because the real you is going to be exposed. Because pressure is coming. And pressure is here. And pressure builds and reveals character. So, while some are online and they're chasing virality and going viral, you really need to be chasing alignment. This is why, for me, I created the programs that I have. The Muse Activator, which is a container. The Sacred Feminine League, which is a center. To help you fortify your spirit, not just polish your platform. Because we are in the age of air, and the beautiful aspect of the age of air is this. Let me tell you how the beautiful aspect of it. Because we are in the age of air, AI, internet, surveillance, watching, all of these things. The thing about integrity becoming magnetism is that when you get online and you truly are operating from the energetics of integrity and you're speaking the language that your client needs to hear and your community needs to hear that is going to resonate, guess what? They're going to be magnetized to you. And when they are magnetized to you, it's a higher chance that they will monetize with you. They'll pay for your subscriptions. They'll pay for your YouTube subscription. They'll pay for your Facebook subscription. They'll pay to be in your community. They'll do that because why? Your integrity is so magnetizing. And the world is lying to me, and you are the one who I feel is speaking the truth that I have been hearing on the inside of me. And because you're speaking it out loud, I know I found my people. You're not paying attention. See, some of y'all not on y'all square, and you're going to be broke because you lack integrity. Tell you the truth. I'm telling you the whole absolute truth. Thank you, my love, for these gifts, these likes, these comments. Character becoming currency. See, when people consistently see your fruit, they're going to know the truth about you, sweets. And that character and people being able to still speak to not only who they see online, but everywhere you go, people are saying the majority of the same thing about you and speaking about your character. You become automatically high value. Y'all be getting the tips from people online trying to become high value, and all you got to do to be high value is to have aligned and proper character. Your character is currency. Your character is what keeps you. That's what keep you in spaces. You out here trying to figure out, how do I become a high value woman? Your character. We've solved the mystery. Your character. Hey, my love, your character. That's literally your currency. That gets you through the door. A banking system is looking at your credit because your credit to them is based on your character, your actions, how you spend. Y'all not... all of this has been around you all your life, and you just have not caught it. Your character is your currency. What people say about you, your reputation is what people think about you, and what people think about you is based on the fruit. It's based on your fruit. And these are the things that you got to pay attention to. Now, again, those are the two upsides. If your character right and your integrity right, you're going to magnetize people who want to monetize with you. Point blank, period, the end. Your character right, you become high value. So guess what? People invest in high value, and people invest in high value at a high value. Ding, 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 ding. You talking about you trying to figure out where the money resides. Oh, it resides in you. It was there the whole time. Maddie knew who she was since she was a little girl. These are things like, This is you. You're asking questions about how, to be where the money resides, how to be in spaces so I can be more high value. The answer is literally in you. It's been there the whole time. Society just tricked you into believing that you weren't good enough and everything about you was elementary and it wasn't worthy, and you believed them, and now you're under the spell, so break the spell. Witchcraft is nothing but the manipulation of mental energy, of your mindset. If you notice, out of all things, the Most High creator of all things does. The Most High will open doors for you, will do a multitude of things for you, but the Most High will not change your mind, not even to make you serve the Most High. So if the Most High is not willing to change your mind, you need to start asking yourself, why is society so comfortable with trying to trick you and program you to get you to do what they want you, to get you to do what they want? They got to trick you into doing it by playing mind tricks on you, scaring you with news media, programming your mind with all kind of lewd things that get you disconnected from your spiritual core. If they're so all about your safety and your security and your well-being, then why do they got to trick you into doing the things that they want you to do? Why they just can't ask you? Why they just can't give you options? The Most High don't make you choose the Most High. And love, this is how you know society don't love you. Love is not force. Love is freedom. Love is not control. It's freedom. And the Most High loves you so much that that you don't even have to choose the Most High. But society hates you so much that it tries to control you and program you to make sure you always see them as your source, and you always choose what society says. These are the things you have to pay attention to. If you really fool with me like that, why you got to take my choice away? If you really fool with me like that, why do you have to try to trick me into doing something? That's witchcraft. That's witchcraft. And they do it by entering into your gates, which is why the Most High tells you to guard your gates. Eye gates, ear gates, womb gate, mouth gate. Mouth gate, the things that you put into your mouth. Food-wise, all of that. These things, these are portals. These are portals. Whether you realize it or not, these are portals. If you don't repair your alignment, okay, you'll keep leading people while hating yourself, and you're eventually going to get exposed. You'll keep winning online, but you'll have no peace, and eventually you'll get exposed. Burnout is going to expose you in that area. You'll keep burning out while pretending like you're empowered, okay? And this happens because spiritual debt doesn't just drain your energy, it warps your perception of what's real. Spiritual debt will warp your perception of what's real. And the reason why that's so important for you to realize is your perception is how you view things. It's how you view your reality. A person who is always in a victim mindset views their reality is that they're always a victim. The reality that they view is that everyone is doing something to them. So as soon as something happens, like, why me? Why are people always doing this to me? Why is this always happening to me? That's the mind frame. It warps your perception of what's real. And suddenly, you're chasing attention instead of alignment. And how you do one thing is how you do all things. Okay? So, if we're chasing attention online to try to get money, we're chasing attention in relationships to try to, chasing men to try to get attention in relationships. Because how we do one thing is how we do all things, whether you want to realize that or not. Next thing you know, you're manipulating outcomes instead of making decisions. Next thing you know, you're treating people like pawns instead of portals. Because you don't understand everybody you meet is a portal. How? A portal to where is the question. I always tell you that you're meeting two types of people into your life experience every single day. People that are a part of your destiny and people who are a part of distracting you. You need to understand that people are portals and stop looking at people as just people. They're portals. And if they're portals, the first question you need to ask yourself is, where does this portal lead to? See, if you start asking them type of questions, you won't find yourself in situations where you're not being valued, because you'll see where the portal is leading and you get to decide, hey, I don't like this ride. Or, hey, I don't think I'm going to go in there. Not going to work for me. But if you're looking and you have the warped perception through the lens of anxious attachment style, which is a warped perception, when you have that going on, you see everything from an anxious space and an anxious state. So then you start trying to manipulate outcomes. Well, if I text him more, I do this. If I do this, I'm going to do this. Subconsciously, when you have an anxious attachment, which is any attachment, you have an attachment in general, you alter yourself in experiences because you're connected to that idea, that attachment. And that's very dangerous, okay? The bad part about going into the state of having attachments and different things like that is you can no longer tell the difference between reality and what's actually true. And that's where things get extremely dangerous. Because you will romanticize things all in your mind. You will have a very different view and perception of this actual relationship. That's not even that. That's how a lot of women get caught up in situationships. You don't look at the fruit. But he said, he said, you didn't look at the fruit. But he said, you didn't look at the fruit. And you can't tell me that you looked at the fruit within a month, because it takes time for fruit to grow. And fruit grows different in each season. And different fruit pops up in different seasons. So if you have not spent the time to pay attention to the season change, then you don't know. And some of us are making decisions without even examining the fruit and then getting mad and saying you're a victim. Nobody can play you without your permission, participation, or the fact that you weren't paying attention. Keyword, paying attention. See, when you paying attention, you're assessing the fruit. When you don't pay attention, you give permission, you participate in things that play you. Nobody can play you. Nobody. And I really get tired of women coming on this app talking about something. Y'all always saying choose better, choose better, choose better, because, people, y'all don't realize that men lie. Please don't piss me off. Of course people lie. Men lie, women lie. You know how you combat the liars? You want to know how you really combat that and still not get tricked and played? Is by asking the one that created the person that appears that they may be a liar. How about asking the one that created both of y'all, hey, is this something I need to be in? And if it's not something I need to be in, how about show me everything I need to know before I make a mistake or a decision that caused me harm? I don't care if it hurts my feelings. See, I'm not ready to have them kind of conversations with your creator. You're not really ready to ask that type of question because you really don't want to know if this is not for you. You just want to do what you want to do. You want to disconnect spiritually and then expect a blessing. Girl, that's wild. How you going to disconnect from your spiritual core and then expect a blessing? And a blessing, by definition, according to the Strong's Concordance, a blessing is to be happy. And how you happy coming outside of yourself? Because you got to come outside of yourself. How you happy wearing a mask? Y'all was pissed when we all had to wear masks a couple of years ago. So much so, baby, talking about it was messing up makeup all like. What do you mean? You got to make it make sense now. You got to make it make sense. You no longer can tell the difference of what's going on. So if you stay in that space, correct, the disconnection can cost you your life. It will. It will. Because you're going to self-destruct. You have no choice. Because why? You become your own enemy. Again, violation of spiritual law. The enemies come to steal, kill, and destroy. What does the enemy steal? Steal your joy. How do I steal my own joy? By making decisions that go against you. By making decisions to please other people. By making decisions for approval and validation. That is how you steal your own joy and you go against you. Because after a while, you start doing that and it warps your perception. And then guess what happens after that? You steal your own joy. You kill your own confidence after that. Then your confidence is gone. Once you kill your confidence completely off, that is a breaking that happens in the spirit. So that means that you self-destruct. Steal, kill, destroy. All by your own hand. It's crazy work. But it's happening every day. It's happening every day. Because the bill always comes due. The bill is always going to come due. And this is why, honestly, I don't coach women through character leaks. I lead them back to the root. That's what I do. Because if you don't get to the root of the issue, you're not going to solve the problem. And like I told y'all, I live for results. I live for results. I lead women back to the root, and that's why I created the Muse Activator. It's an 8-week sacred recalibration, not just of your nervous system, but of your spirit. Because here's the thing, I'm going to tell you what really is going to mess a lot of people up. Not understanding their energetics and not knowing their identity. When you don't understand energetics, as in energetics and matter, right? So if you don't understand energetics, you don't understand yourself, because that means you don't understand matter. And if you don't understand energetics and you don't understand matter. And if you don't understand energetics and you don't understand matter, then why do you matter if you don't understand matter, if you don't understand energetics? So you're not going to matter. And that ties into you not knowing your identity. And you not being rooted in your identity means that you're going to have to, if you want to get into society and make friends or build any form of community, that means you're going to have to pick an identity. You're going to have to choose an identity, like much like a character in a game, so that you can assimilate and make friends into society. And that happens because you won't own your own self. You don't understand your own self. So when that identity no longer works for you and you find yourself in a crisis, often a midlife crisis, because you can't hold on anymore, you don't realize that this midlife crisis is actually an initiation. It's an initiation that is calling you to recognize that the life that you have been living has been one that is beneath you, that is stressing you out, that is making you sick, and that is truly not in alignment with who you now believe that you are. So you are at a fork in the road. You have hit a conflict. But this is an initiation. You pass or you fail. You either drop the mask during this so-called midlife crisis, or you continue to wear the mask until it chokes you out. That is one sign of you being exposed. That crisis, all crises, and I explain this to people, they're initiations. You shouldn't panic. They're initiations. No need for you to panic. It's a fork in the road. It's a decision. But see, women have a very hard time making decisions. But we are now in a space in the age of air. And like I said, if you want to know more about the age of air, click the link in the bio. Subscribe to my Substack so you can read all about everything while I break it all down. And the 2 letters I dropped today. But what you have to understand is that everything is going to be out in the open. Everything is going to be exposed. And it's very important that you rebuild and that you ground and you get to where you need to be. Here are a couple of things of how we rebuild from the inside out in the Muse Activator, okay? We regulate your nervous system. And we teach you to learn emotional rhythm, your specific emotional rhythm. Let me tell you something. The future belongs to the creatives, the innovators, and the observers. That's who the future belongs to. The World Economic Forum has been writing, let me tell y'all something. The World Economic Forum has been writing articles since 2016. I just saw one the other freaking day stating how society by 2030, most of society will own nothing but be happy. They will own nothing. And when I mean be happy, it's like it ain't the happy that you think, but you will own nothing. And the 9-to-5 whole thing is going to be obsolete. It's not a coincidence that they're doing this whole thing about, we're writing and seeing, how to categorize jobs and PTO and all these things. These people are making sure that y'all not getting no benefits. These people are going to make sure that if you're going to work at any form of a corporation, it's going to be you choosing slots in in August. We're starting, the next cohort is going to start in August. And I'm going to break down a little bit. And you can hold your spot for, because the program is $2,000. You can get a Klarna firm and Afterpay. But you can also hold your spot for $500. So that can hold your spot for coming into the August one. I already have a young lady that I talked to yesterday who said that she wanted to come in August. So that's another spot. I normally take about 6 or 7 in the Muse Activator. So that'll be 2 kind of spots already going. But that's when we're going to be starting. But I'll give you guys a little bit more information on that. But week 2, we're going to go into clean up your boundaries and your discernment. Because again, if you're going to be an observer, a creative, and innovator in this society, you are going to have to get strict. You are going to have to get strict with your boundaries. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It is for your life. It is for your lineage. It is for the things that you need to be doing. You're going to have to get strict. Okay? Number 3, week 3, we work on exiting any form of performing. Performance-based work, hustling and all that is out, y'all. You have to learn how to make money with your mind. You have to learn how to use your gifts to be able to create the reality that you desire. They are planning on taking everything that you have. And I'm not even being funny. If you wake, and this is what you need to ask yourself in your mind. If you woke up one day, and I'm trying to tell you something without telling you something. If you woke up one day and you checked your account, and you know you had a lot of money in your account yesterday, and you woke up and you didn't have a lot of money in your account, you actually had a large negative balance in your account, what is your first thing that's going to happen? Are you going to panic? Are you going to break down? Are you going to be asking, what are you going to do? Or are you about to are you about to open up your skill sets, because you have a multitude of them, and you about to go get some more money? If you walked into if you're a 9-to-5er, if you walked into your 9-to-5 and they were like, this is over with, everybody is leaving, it's closed down, are you about to start panicking? Or do you have a skill set? Are you aware of your skill set that's so amazing and so powerful that corporations will pay you for it? Some of y'all are sitting on $1 million skill sets. $1 million skill sets. And you're not activating these things because you are just sitting around. And you're going to hurt yourself with that. You need to come out of the whole performance space and step into the fullness of embodying your identity, because again, that's what's going to be attractive. Week 4, we go into communicating from clarity, not compulsion. Week 5, we go into build rhythm aligned systems. And week 6, we go through a process of integration of all of these things. Okay? But we have extended it to, it's an 8-week program. So there's some more things that have been added to it as well. So this program for 8 weeks is not a feel-good series. It's literally spiritual architecture. The women that are in that program are like, I want to go from making $100-something thousand to $500,000. Cool. This is the program for you. The women in that program are like, okay, I'm managing a $2 billion project right now, and I'm trying to make sure, my energetics are right, so I'm being the mother I want to be, and this and this and that. You have women in that community who are building businesses up and working on their health and losing weight and being mothers. Like, it's a community of movers and shakers that come into the Muse Activator. Women who want to quantum jump. Because in order for you to quantum jump from 100,000 to 500,000, it's a couple of things that have to go into their nervous system. Rewiring has to happen. Mirror work has to happen, because the mirror work comes from, and with some people, you hear mirror work and like, oh, I'm in the mirror and I'm saying to myself. That's not the mirror work that I'm talking about. I'm talking about mirror work that's reflective. When you look in the mirror, there are many angles to that mirror. If you turn one way, you look one way. If you turn another way, you look a different way. What you need to understand when I'm talking about mirror work, I'm talking about the relationships and the people in your life, because they mirror you. So you are required to assess the mirror as a whole at all angles to see what reflections no longer reflect you. And it might be time for you to clean that mirror. And if you clean the mirror, and you're always cleaning the mirror, then you always know what time it is. So nobody ever has to clock anything, because you're always on time. You always are ahead and you understand time. Okay? So if you're tired of leaking energy, and your leadership it no longer feels clean because you acquired spiritual debt, okay? If you want to just be whole and not branded, not look the part, but actually tap into being the part, then the Muse Activator is where that starts, okay? Like I said, you can get that with Client Affirm and Afterpay. The link is in the bio for more information. If you are wanting to start and you want to do the deposit, then you would have to DM me specifically and say deposit. And I will send you the link for the $500 deposit to hold your spot for the Muse Activator, okay? That's going to be starting back up in August. I have a cohort right now that's going through. We're getting them done, and then we're having the next cohort to come in, okay? So I'm really excited about it. Now, if you're like, you know what, this sounds amazing, but I'm not quite ready for that. I'm not in a position to where I can invest that currently. Here are a couple of different things that will be able to support you in still clearing up that debt, because you need to clear that debt either way it goes, okay? So number one, you have the Sacred Feminine League. The Sacred Feminine League is a community that I have. It's $197 a month. You can come into that. You can cancel at any time. It is a private feminine center. It is a private feminine center. I have shared investment secrets with the women in the Sacred Feminine League. I have given things like passes and different things to women in the Sacred Feminine League so they can benefit from making sure that they're practicing self-care, getting massages, going to workout classes, doing different things like that. We meet twice a month, and then they also get 2 videos a month. So they get 4 videos a month. We also have a Telegram community group that we talk in, okay? So I absolutely love the Sacred Feminine League. In the Sacred Feminine League, it's basically a bi-weekly emotional recalibration. It's you coming back into yourself. If you're disconnected from your spiritual core, you need to be in community, and the Sacred Feminine League is the space to be in, okay? It's perfect for the woman who has outgrown chaos. She done got tired of the drama. Because I don't do the drama. Women don't come in my space with the drama. It's women who come into my space. It's never any, oh, it's cattiness and back and forth. I just don't have that. One, I don't attract that because I'm not that. That's first and foremost. Women who are catty and women who like to start drama, they often don't like me because I have to shut them down immediately because I'm not participating. I'm just not one of them. Okay? So, but this is perfect for one of them. Okay? So, but this is perfect for the woman who's outgrown the chaos, but she's not fully embodied in her rhythm yet. A lot of the women that come into the Sacred Feminine League often transition up to the Muse Activator. I got a couple of women in the Sacred Feminine League that was like, okay, the next step for me, like I'm trying to get into the Muse Activator next. So women are already in the Sacred Feminine League trying to come into the Muse Activator. So it's beautiful, it's gentle order, it's emotional witnessing, it's power without pushing. The women come in there and share their experiences and their stories, the things that they've learned. Women's lives are being shifted, and we've only been back into the Sacred Feminine League for like a month now. And we're going into the second month, and the second month is going to be absolutely amazing. I've already sent them the outline of the sessions that we're going to be covering. They have a video that's going to be dropping this weekend for them. And recently, one of my clients in the Sacred Feminine League was talking about, you know, how she's been able to use some of the tools to discern better in her dating life. And she ran a scenario by us, and she handled the scenario so amazing because she was able to say, hey, this is just not what I enjoy. This is not what works for me. I'm glad that you're doing you. And like was able to dismiss with nothing extra. And you got to realize when you begin to work on yourself and you come into your feminine nature and your core, your magnetism is going to go up, right? A whole lot. So light is going to attract butterflies, moths, and roaches. Okay? And you need to be able to decipher the difference between a roach, a moth, and a butterfly. Okay? And she was basically expressing how she was able to do that. And she actually has one of my old courses, Relationships and Revenue, and she pulled a quote from there, and she said, you said yourself, you know, just because you can pull it doesn't mean you have to play with it. Facts. You're going to pull a lot of different things in your orbit once you really start focusing on the fact that you are the sun in your universe. And when you feed so much light to the sun, you're going to shine so bright. And according to the law of radiation, I'm a nerd. So according to the law of radiation, what is beaming within is going to radiate to everyone else. So it's going to pull. Okay? So it's really, really important. If you're interested in the Sacred Feminine League, you can click the link in the bio. It's $197 a month. You can cancel it at any time. I'm not holding you hostage. You can get it for the rest of the year at $555 if you just want to pay it out. So you can have the Sacred Feminine League. You can do that as well. But it's open to you. If you don't want community, but you want to learn these things and you need a course, then the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint will help you. The Magnetic Wealth Blueprint is going to help you with nervous system, cash flow collection, love and leadership calibration, feminine wealth architecture. It's going to support you in all those areas. If you are struggling with attachment styles, the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint is going to help you, because there's a class in there called Loving the Nervous System. That Loving the Nervous System class is going to save you, especially if y'all are out here dating. I don't know why you would be out here with everything going on, but go off and do what y'all want. You know, I don't get mad at nobody for doing what they do. But if you're going to be out here, let me get this thing so it's a charge. If you're going to be out here doing that, you need to have discernment. And a lot of women don't have discernment. I'm just being honest. Which is why you keep getting played, even though nobody can play you without your permission, participation, or in fact, you ain't paying attention. And a lot of you are not paying attention to yourselves, which is why you keep getting played. Okay? I'm on lesson 5 of the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. Okay? I'm on lesson 5 of the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. How are you loving it? So you already have done loving the nervous system then. So you know. So if you are in lesson 5, then I think you've already done loving the nervous system. And I think lesson 5, you probably are on get passively paid, because I think 6 is intelligence to income. So in that bundle, I'm teaching you how to support yourself, increase your discernment when it comes down to dating, love, and all of that type of stuff, and around your money. So if you want to make more money, have better dating experiences, want to get healthier, get yourself in full alignment, the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint will help you do that. It's $200. You can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. Okay? If you've tasted success but you can't seem to hold it, if your income is inconsistent, if your spirit feels stretched thin, the blueprint is going to realign you quietly, deeply, and powerfully. So if you want to go through a shift and you know you're a self-healer, you're kind of that type where you do these things on your own, then that is really going to support you. I would love to know, and you can DM me. You don't have to put it in here, or you can put it in here. I would love to know how your experience has been with the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. It's one of my favorite things because it has everything when it comes down to alignment in love, alignment in money, alignment when it comes down to your spirituality, your relationship with the Creator, alignment when it comes down to how you create money, alignment when it comes down to making sure the money that you're bringing in aligns with your actual intelligence, so you're not having to exhaust yourself. All things alignment are coming through the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint. And once you get yourself in alignment, you have no choice but to magnetize wealth. That's literally what that does. And wealth consists of 5 pillars: financial resources, time freedom, emotional fulfillment, healthy relationships, and growth and purpose. Those are the 5 things that make up generational wealth. And if you are seeking to really build generational wealth, the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint is going to help you do that. Because if you don't do that underworking that's necessary, if you don't lay a strong foundation, then everything is going to crumble. Okay? So, I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm just here to tell y'all the truth. You can keep building with dirty hands. You can keep trying to build a love life with dirty hands. You can keep building a business with dirty hands. You can build whatever you want with dirty hands, or you can get clean. Every one of these offers that I've offered to you is literally a path back to rhythm, back to yourself. So, but only you, and I do mean only you, can choose to stop pretending that you're okay. Because what you need to understand is that bad character always comes with a bill. Always. And the women I serve, we've decided to go ahead and pay it now before it costs us more than we can afford. And I hope in this live you grasp something, you got it. Like I said, if you need to know more about the Age of Air, you can click the link in my bio to sign up for Substack to read. Because I just wrote 2 articles today about the Age of Air. If you get my newsletter is called the Red Knowledge Tree. If you become a paid subscriber to the Red Knowledge Tree, you get access to the paid letters. If you get access to the red letters, which are the paid letters, those letters are going to break down the process of how to implement these things. So like in the Age of Air series, right? It teaches you, I'm teaching you step by step how to quantum jump in this new timeline. Because the way you were jumping time in the Age of Water, being able to ride the wave in the coast of other people's you ain't gonna be able to do that now. You're not gonna be able to do that now. So I'm teaching you how to quantum jump in this new timeline. I'm also teaching you in these spaces how women that came before us, misuse the Age of Water, how to preserve yourself. I'm going through all of these things. So if you get the red paid letters, you get access of how to implement these things. If you don't get the paid letters, you still get the information to know what's coming your way. And if you want to know how to support yourself in doing that, that requires investment. I'm going to say the paid letters, if you do it every month, is $22 a month. If you're a reader, writer, implementer, when it comes down to your work, the scripture tells us to write it down, make it plain. Writing really, really supports me. So everything that I'm giving you is things that I've done, knowledge that I have, really, really, really can support you in transformation and changing your life. Okay, so click the link in the bio to sign up for the Red Knowledge Tree. Get access to the paid letters. If you become a founding member, which I think is like $250, you get the Seduction series. Now, the Seduction series is going to teach you how to stop letting society seduce you. That is going to be your ticket for you to understand how to slip out of that matrix and how to never be put back into it. Because all society is doing is seducing you. It's using your thirst against you. And in that seduction series, I break down everything. How the fallen angels, how the whole seduction thing started, because the fallen angels seduced us with information. That's how we know things. That's how society knows things like astrology. That's how society knows things like meteorology, which is the path of the clouds. This is the reason why we know how to work the earth and all these things. These things are sacred knowledge that the fallen angels seduced women. Right? They seduced women by giving information, because women, we love to be schooled, even though a lot of us don't learn. We love knowledge and we love to be put on game and we love to be schooled. But when you look at the life cycles, the repetition of certain behaviors and different things reveal that we do not like to really learn the lessons. And now is one aspect of seduction. But like I said, if you get the seduction series, you get all of that. And then you also get in the seduction series how to protect your light in a world that's obsessed with it. Because the world is obsessed with feminine energy. And it uses feminine energy and it uses women. But women are not aware of this. Therefore, you don't know how to protect yourself. But if you get that seduction series, if you become a founding member, you automatically get that seduction series. It's 5 hardcore letters of breaking down where we were, where we are, and how to protect yourself going further. Okay? So click the link in the bio to get access to that. Alongside, let me see. I've been having a few breakthroughs and remembering happening. All praises to the Most High. And feeling much more at ease. I love that. Alongside reading scripture is keeping me in my body. And less in my mind. I love that. Because the feminine is being in your body. And I'm so glad that you got the magnetic wealth blueprint. I'm glad that you're saying this, because let me tell you something. The future is being. See, people are saying the future is feminine. The feminine is rising. But the feminine is being. And the majority of women don't know how to be. They only know how to do. Because that has been the training. And that has been the biggest training for millennial women. To learn how to do. Go get this. Go get a job. Go to school. Go do this. Go do that. We have been taught to do and we don't know how to be. And we have entered into the season of air where you are to just be. Because you can't do nothing when the air comes. You can't whoop the air. You can't stand 10 toes down to face the air. All you can just do is be. And allow the wind to do its thing. Whether it's willing to uproot, lift, or expose. That is the age that we are in right now. So I'm really glad and I feel really, really blessed to hear and to read, I'm sorry, to read that you're experiencing that and that you're seeing that, because that's what's going to be really important, learning how to be. Because if you know how to be, then you know how to be yourself. And if you know how to be yourself, then you know how to use your gifts that are within yourself, and you feel comfortable being yourself. You don't care about being anyone else, therefore you don't care about anyone else's perception of you. So that gives you even more confidence to show up boldly. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to show up boldly like a lion. That's what the scriptures say. But I don't know. Everybody be doing what they want to do. But that's the thing. So I'm really glad to hear that. What questions do you guys have for me, if any? What questions do you have? I'm going to take a few questions before I get off of here. But y'all, bad character always, the bill gonna always come due, baby. Always. It don't miss. I always say the law of sowing and reaping is a boomerang that never misses. Never forget that. Never misses. It's going to always shoot back. You will always meet yourself. Okay? So what questions do you guys have for me? If you're interested in the Muse Activator, like I said, you can hold your spot for a $500 deposit. I can send you that. I think the deposit, because we haven't started, the deposit can be done with Klarna Affirm and Afterpay. But you pay your deposit to hold your spot, and then you the rest of your payments are split up into 2 payments after that, over the 8-week period that we meet in our sessions. And so the Muse Activator has been such a beautiful experience and such an amazing community, as well as the Sacred Feminine League. One thing I love building community. I'm really good at building community and connecting with people, and that is me, because I operate from a space of integrity. I don't operate from a space of judgment. I truly do operate from a space of care and concern and results. So I care about you getting the results that you're looking for. I care and I'm concerned about your well-being while you're doing that. I am focused on you getting the results, because that is what you invested on. You didn't pay me. You banked on you. I'm going to make sure you show up for you. I'm going to make sure I give you all the tools you need so you can connect the dots, okay, and get the clarity and get the result that you're looking for, okay? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? And like I said, click the link in the bio to get any access to any of my products or services or anything like that. Like I said, you can get all of them with Klarna Affirm and Afterpay, with the exception of the Sacred Feminine League. Sacred Feminine League, there are no payment plans for that. It's $197 a month. You can cancel at any time. Nobody's holding you hostage, I promise. I'm not going to do that. I only want you to be in spaces where you are comfortable and you are good investing, okay? Any questions before I get ready to get off? Because if not, Lord willing, I will see y'all tomorrow for Feminine Friday. Okay? All right. I'm not seeing any questions. So, thank y'all so much for being here, because I do a nice little nighttime live here and there. But please, please, please remember that bad character. The best way, I don't know. The best way to just say it is, the soul is sending invoices. It's sending invoices. And bad character always comes with a bill. Hold on, she said, not sure if you see what I asked above. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. Let me see. I don't see it. Okay, what I see is not in a bad way, but a painful way. And I haven't forgot you too. I need to send you that grief book. So I'm gonna do that once I get off here. I actually need to find the email that contains it. I didn't get your question. Do me a favor and drop it for me one more time, and I'll answer for you real quick. You have a peaceful night as well, lovey. I'm gonna answer your question and then I'm gonna get off. I think I want some fruits before I lay down. Oh, and I gotta rest my little ankle, child. Y'all, I sprained my ankle. You're supposed to tell me 4 weeks. I can do no cardio for 4 weeks. I'm gonna sit down though. I'm trying to see too. Let me try to go back a little bit and see if I see the question from earlier. I see. IDK may be filtering. Okay, yeah, because I don't see it. And no, they didn't even give me a filter warning. But let me know in the comments and I'll answer it for you. Because all I got was something about not painful, not in a bad way, but a painful way. But y'all, please, just do right. She was asking, I remember her asking when the Muse activator started. That's going to be starting in August. That's going to be starting, not August isn't, because August is tomorrow, sorry, in a couple of weeks. So I'm actually going to be sending out an email. It's probably going to be like the third week in August when it actually starts to come in, when that cohort actually starts to come in. Okay? And that's where you can pay your deposit to hold your spot. Any other questions? And then I was going to say, if you can't, if you need to, you can DM me the question, because we can do that. And I'll put this on. Okay, you try that. Okay, good deal. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go. Click the link in the bio to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And my Substack, and to check out any of my products and my services. This is going to go up on YouTube. I don't know how long it's going to stay, but it's going to be over there probably in the morning. So y'all have an amazing, amazing night. Please, 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 please remember that self-care is the key fundamental of every single relationship. You set the tone of how people treat you by the way you treat yourself. So you should treat yourself exceptionally well because you deserve it, okay? Unless you don't believe that. And I'm not here to argue with your perception of self, but I would hope that you would believe that you do deserve that, okay? All right. I hope you have an amazing night. Peace out.